Hello, Michael.
Hello, hello. How are we all?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, this is a blessing. Ray only phoned me a little while ago to say you'd be joining us tonight, and you're here and he's not. So
I
yeah,
guess
this.
perhaps there's time yet, but
Oh yeah,
if
I'm
not,
sure
then
he'll join us. Absolutely.
yes, yeah,
But this is Michael Chamberlain. Um, and the reason Ray would like Michael to join us is because you're the ambassador for One Small Town. Oh, here's the man. But you're the ambassador for One Small Town project in the UK.
yes. Well, in England specifically. Hello, Ray.
Hi,
Um,
Jackie. Hi, Michael.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
We've actually just this
Yes.
second gone live, Ray, just to let you know.
Brilliant. Good, good. I shan't say anything I'm not supposed to then.
Please do not swear.
um,
Oh, would
I'm
I now?
joking. You can say
Yeah.
what you like.
Great to see you, Jackie. Good to see you, Michael.
You too. I was just explaining that. Yeah, there are ambassadors. There's one for every country, effectively, and it's more just to give some geography in terms of the patch that you work on. But we certainly would help each other out as and when we needed it. And we have ambassador for Wales. We have one for the Isle of Man as well. So it's really just a geographical location. And mine is England, which I'm really proud to be part of. And we have Julia as well, who is and was the original UK ambassador. A lot of her duties now are international. So I've been able to step in and take a lot of the sort of tasks that are more England related from Julia, but she absolutely has a big hand in what we do. So yeah, there's a few of us. I mean, the team is quite large internationally. It's quite a large team as well. So there are a number of programmers, there are project managers, there's a big PR team that keep a lot of media channels going. So I'm well supported in this role as well. And of course, we have a lot of really valuable contacts as well, like Ray, and he's here tonight.
So
So
this talk has
everyone
come
together.
about. Yeah, that's how this talk's
Yeah,
come about. Ray
right.
contacted me last week, but then I saw the poster for what you've got coming up on Sunday. Um, I don't know if it was something you posted to me, Ray, but anyway, for some
It
reason I
was.
rang you.
It,
Yeah,
it, it was Jackie. That's right. Yeah, that's how we got in contact. Yeah, again.
and yeah,
we, we
absolutely.
we've contacted each other many times, and I've had the privilege of being involved in Jackie's group, which I think came from Positive Living, wasn't it, Jackie?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, or positive. Yeah, I've been involved with that group many times and managed to speak and be part and parcel of that group. So I have a strong affinity there, and with all the lovely people that you manage when you put the word out, Jackie, to get together. So I thought it was a very natural thing to want to share. Michael's good news, which maybe I can give just a little bit of my history with Michael.
Mm.
I only looked up the other day to nail it down. I came to Michael after being handed a leaflet, standing outside of Wembley, going into a David Icke seminar back in, I think it was about October of 2012, and it was the first big one that he'd done. About 6,000 people were queuing there. It was extraordinary buzz. And someone came up and handed me
This
a
is
leaflet
this is
for
Michael Tellinger. I should point
Sorry, not Michael Tellinger, David Icke. So David Icke was talking and a leaflet was handed out about the Breakthrough Energy Conference that was taking place in Amsterdam, and I thought, God, I've got to go to that. Tap on the shoulder, and it was there I met Michael Tellinger. He was one of the speakers, and it was an extraordinary list of people. When you look now, who's out there really calling it? Catherine Austin Fists were there. Oh gosh, David Martin was there. Paul Hellyer,
Stone.
yeah, Sasha was chairing it, and boy, oh boy, was he a valiant. But there was just a whole range. Nick Begovic was there, he talking about harp. There was just an amazing group of people, and it was an extraordinary conference. Ralph Ring was talking about anti-gravity craft. And I met Michael, and we sat around a table with Sasha and David Martin and a few others in one of the breaks. And Michael just happened to drop that he was doing a piece down in Cape Town about a week later, and seeing as I was born there, I thought that's a damn good excuse to go back to South Africa. I went there, and he was amazed that I turned up in this meeting, having met in Holland, and we formed a friendship from then on. I went back with him to the circles and to his origins, really, which were slave species of the gods. And in a way, there's no corner Michael hasn't turned over. Then later he went on to write this extraordinary book, and as a result of that book, I put a tour on for Michael, and we met again. It was about a 5-place tour, and when we were travelling from Newry to Dublin to catch the after having done an event in Newry, where incidentally he met Emma Jane, his now wife. Yeah, we were talking about the transition town movement, and the one small town idea came out of that car journey. So yeah, I feel very rooted in the whole sort of concept of what there is here. And Michael, we've kept in touch. Michael sent me a random email about a month and a half ago and said, going to award you some tokens, some infinity tokens, for what you did for me and for the helping the start of One Small Town. I thought, well, yeah, I better get on the phone to him, and I can pick up the phone to Michael, and did that very early morning. We had an extraordinary talk, and I thought, this is really where it's at. I know the number of grassroots organizations that would like the cohesion, the support, the platform, the groundedness, the vision that Michael has. And I knew from the talk that he was so complimented by great people like Michael Chamberlain, who's on here, that I've had the pleasure of meeting now a couple of times, and who I've invited to Stroud to actually really start the one small town, the first One Small Town. So the first thing I did after speaking to Michael was go and talk to the group in Stroud, who I know very well, and I've been involved in. I said, look, I put the whole thing on them. Michael came through on a call, and yeah, it's happening. And I can't believe the number of people that are honing in, that want to hear about it and want to actually be involved in this. What is an extraordinary movement that's so well backed and so well supportive, that's got an alternative way of remunerating people. I think that's one of the greatest things about it. And it's based on this fabulous contributionism model. And I'd just really like to, if you don't mind indulging me, I'd like to read what Desmond Tutu said about Ubuntu and the contributionism. He said, I am what I am because of who we all are. It is the essence of being human. You can't exist as a human being in isolation. It speaks about our interconnectedness. You can't be human all by yourself. And when you have this quality, Ubuntu, you are known for your generosity. We think of ourselves far too frequently as just individuals, separated from one another, whereas you are connected, and what you do affects the whole world. When you do well, it spreads out. It is for the whole of humanity. And, to me, that's the essence of what Michael has started here. And that was in his book in 2013. And that was definitely the way he was thinking, even when he wrote this book way, way back. So, yeah, I'm very excited to be able to be part of something that I know is going to envelop so many of the groups in such a beautiful, conscious way. And maybe if you've got any questions of me, Jackie, or maybe we just defer to Michael, who really has all the nuts and the bolts, having been following this for quite some while.
What we do now, I'm just going to share the screen, if that's all right, for what's happening on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe I can just speak to the venue. The venue sort of chose itself. I've formed quite a friendship with a lovely lady called Chloe Goodchild, and I've been to about 3 events of Chloe's, which is under her banner, The Naked Voice, and singing and chanting. And she has held some really great gatherings at Matara, which is just on the southern outskirts of Stroud, about 9 miles south of Stroud, very, very easily accessible off the M4 and off the A46. The venue sort of chose itself because it's just such a sacred spot. It's just such a beautiful spot. You can see the house tucked away in the corner there, with labyrinths and beautiful sort of walking space and gardens, put together by a lovely 80-year-old, and who will be there welcoming us. So that's where we've chosen to have the inauguration of the One Small Town here in the UK. And yeah, anybody that's on this is invited.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, just that, where it's saying suggested donation £10. That's just incredible that all of this is happening for the day. And that's all you're asking of people. So yes, I don't know if you want to say anything now, Michael.
Well, I think Ray summed up a lot of Ubuntu and contributionism really well, and it's the solution that I think we're now ready for. And Ray and I have said a couple of times, you know, it's time now, and it feels like we've all gone through a learning curve over the last few years, or most people have, certainly the weighted people, and we've come to a point now where we've talked a lot about things, we've discovered more things, and now it's time to start thinking about the action that has to come out of that. And Michael Tellinger's been working on One Small Town, in essence, since the early 2000s, and it's come to fruition now, really, and it seems like it's the right time for it. So over the last 6 months or so, I've been working with One Small Town. We've started to see the grassroots moving, if you like, moving towards taking action. Prior to that, you know, I was looking for a solution. I was tired of talking about the mess, and I was looking for a solution. And when I found One Small Town, it just clicked, because what it seeks to do is to use the system that we currently have to our benefit, to the benefit of the community, so that those who are doing the work in the community are the ones that benefit from it. And that then eventually will render the current system obsolete, in that we won't need overarching governments to manage our communities for us. We'll be doing that ourselves. We'll be doing the work in the communities ourselves. We'll be looking after it. We'll be creating abundance and prosperity for everyone in the community. And no other system really has been set up or has been designed to such a worldwide degree that encompasses every town on the planet. And that's another real draw to it, is that it's not isolated pockets of people doing a variety of things, which is great, but it brings it all together and provides the framework for all of those groups that are doing some fantastic work out there, to bring them all together into a framework that they can all utilize and provide the glue for it. So yeah, so for the last 6 months, I've started to see what I've kind of called our sparks of interest. So we've had some people in the Northeast who have been thinking about joining One Small Town. We have a group in Essex who are also kind of getting together as a newly formed group and are looking to start a One Small Town there, but they're slightly more dispersed out, so they're looking to focus in on one town in Essex and really target that to start with. And there's another group fairly local to me in around Fareham that are in the embryonic stages of considering One Small Town as well. But I think what Ray has introduced in Stroud is almost a ready-made group of people with really high energy, that are very active and have some vision, that they're able to take a concept like this and project it forward and know that actually that's the route they want to take. And they seem to have adopted it and understood it really quickly, really well, and obviously with Ray's understanding of it as well, and have kind of pressed the button and said we want to go ahead with it. And hence that's why with Ray's help we've organized the event, and looking forward to sitting down with the group and getting them started. And in terms of how the event looks, it's kind of in two parts, really. The first part is around understanding One Small Town, a bit about what Ray said about the beginnings of the Ubuntu movement and Michael Tellinger's work, and then explaining how One Small Town works, how the mechanics work, how people get involved, the ideas around how you contribute and what kind of things you can contribute to, with a wealth of examples of small towns we've done so far. And I think this is something that's often forgotten, is that we are doing this. This is happening. It's just not really happening yet in England. But we have towns. We have Ras Al Khaimah in Lebanon. We have 2 towns in South Africa. We also have a town starting pretty much in Brittany as well. But I feel like a lot of people watch the UK and what we do here. And I think what we do here and how we do it, I think will resonate around a lot of other countries. So I think people are watching, but with the group we've got in Stroud, I just think we're already off to a flying start. So yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. The second part I should mention of the event is based around focusing in. So we'll talk in the first part about how it all works and the structure and what you do to get involved. And then the second part is, what about your town? Let's focus in on your town and look at what resources and projects we can bring to it. And I don't want to give too much away, but because you're going to be there anyway, aren't you, Jackie? But
Hope so.
it will
Yeah,
be,
I think we are.
yeah, it will be a case of, okay, well, now that we understand the fundamentals of the principles of Ubuntu and why we're doing it, we understand how One Small Town works in terms of the system. Well, how do we now then put that into operation? And that's what the second part kind of narrows it down into.
Brilliant. I heard Michael Tellinger speaking with Richard Vobes a few days ago. And the only thing when I listened to that, he talked about blockchain. And for me, that would have been a real knot in the stomach, because what does that mean, blockchain? You know, so is it linked up to crypto?
No, it's not linked up to crypto. It's a bit like it's a tool, really. It's a tool. Now, the tool of blockchain has taken on a bad reputation because of the way it's been used.
Yes.
But I kind of liken it to driving a vehicle. You know, I can use that vehicle to ram it through someone's window to rob a shop, or I could use it to take someone to the hospital. You know, it's not the vehicle so much, it's what you do with it that matters. And so we do use that kind of technology, but we don't use it anything like the way that a cryptocurrency works. It's a terrible part of capitalism. We use it to help manage the systems, because if you imagine, we're trying to create something that can be used anywhere around the world. And the idea is you can go from your town to another town in another country and kind of pick up where you left off, just then joining the projects in that other country. Now, in order to achieve something like that, we can't really do it with punch cards. You know, we kind of do need to utilize the latest, best technology we can in order to make that happen. And the idea of blockchain and connecting these systems together enables us to use those tools for the communities to achieve that. So yeah, I understand why people might think of cryptocurrency, and you know, I don't own any crypto. I have no intention of doing, but we don't use it in that sense. We use it to manage the systems that we have, and one of those is the token management and having a digital wallet, which again sounds like a cryptocurrency, but it's not the same thing. It's not, there's no kind of pump and dumps that go on with crypto. There's no kind of one person coming in and sweeping up all the coins or anything like that. It's simply so we can manage our contributions and our tokens and be able to swap them between ourselves. That's mostly what it's about.
That's brilliant, because yeah, he did speak about how people, you know, you're going to get the old archetype of the greed, but the way you're doing it is such a fair system that that can't happen, but that will be explained.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to remember as well that, I mean, the whole reason we're doing this is so that we can escape those kind of systems. So
exactly,
we've no intention of setting up the same kind of system. That's why we're doing this. So so yeah, it's simply using technology at its finest to help us, you know, not to help the ones that it's currently helping. So yeah, that's the whole premise behind it.
And whilst we were in lockdown, or around that time, there was an awful lot of talk about humanitarian projects and Nasara Jasara. And so a lot of people did get the idea of humanitarian projects at that time. And I'm pretty sure if they've done nothing with them, that will help going into a one small town scenario. Because we've got a humanitarian project, loads of wonderful ideas downloaded by my friend Ellie, quite incredible, you know, and it sounds, are just some of the things, you know, healing centers, nature, crystal rooms, pools, growing your own food, fishing, men's groups, women's groups, birthing centers, end of life care, children, you know, new schools. Really, you know, we've got such a beautiful idea, and that would all fit in so lovely with what you're talking about. And that's why we're convinced, even though we had other things going on Sunday, we're going to come on Sunday, because it's so in line with what we were sort of thinking around that.
Do you know, it amazes me what people can do, and people do great things now. You know, they grow their own food, they meet up in their own hubs, and they help their communities in certain ways. But I almost think there is so much more we could actually do, but a lot of the time we're afraid to do it. We don't think we have permission. We don't look at the regulations that allow us to do these things. We perhaps don't have as many people as we'd like to help, because we can't give them necessarily anything back in return. But the ideas that I've been hearing over the last 6 months are just amazing. One idea was in Fareham with one of the groups. They know a farmer who has a woodland he can't really deal with. Well, you know, there's a number of things you can do with a woodland. And so the idea then is that we get groups of people using contributionism to go and manage the woodland. That then creates firewood that they can then sell on to shops and stores, and thereby make a revenue for the community. So that's one idea. And another idea was, well, perhaps we can start a childcare group, so those that are contributing can have childcare whilst they're contributing, or as part of being a member, they can have childcare services. So that's something else to look into, and the list goes on. So I think someone mentioned we can power wash the high streets, because all the pavements are filthy. We can make them look really smart and clean by with a power washing group. It's kind of, well, yeah, you know, we can do these things. We can do far more than we think. And with the skills that we have, what we're currently doing is we're giving them away to businesses that come in, large conglomerates, bring their pop-up buildings in, they set up shop, they use all the energy and the resources from the people in the town, they drain it all dry, and then when the profit ends, you know, they just drop everyone like a stone. Well, it's time, you know, we are the ones that provide those skills, so let's utilize those for the benefit of our community, using our own resources to help us and communities around us. So I'm sort of getting on my soapbox now, but you know, I do believe that people can achieve far more than they believe they can when they get together and we get organized, which One Small Town allows you to do. You've provided a system that people can hook onto and know that they're getting something back for their contribution. In fact, that they're getting so much back for their contribution that when others see that, they're going to want to join in. It's just too attractive not to want it in your town, or to want to join the group in your town.
And you know, that reminds me, you saying that, Michael, it reminds me a quote of President Eisenhower's wife. I can't remember her name now, but she said, look, we shouldn't be fighting communism. What we should be doing is offering something so attractive that people naturally gravitate toward, and whatever it is that they don't like just becomes obsolete. And I really clearly see this with One Small Town. It is such an attractive concept, and it takes in all those aspects and so many more that you were mentioning there, Jackie, and that you were mentioning, Michael. The healing, I know, is a big one, and I don't want you to talk about this on here because we've got to keep something for for Sunday. but I know there's
Yep.
a big thing in the healing sphere that Michael was very, that's just Michael Tellinger, was very excited about when I last talked to him. So there's so much scope. And the great thing is, as you rightly say, from that contributionism can come the token reward. And I'm quite excited to hear that I actually even have a few tokens in the wallet already, because I've already contributed. And I know the same with you, Michael. And the mere fact of what we're doing now in some ways is contributionism. And yeah.
It is. Yes. In fact, yes. Sorry, Jackie. I don't mean to interrupt. Just to add to what Ray said there. Yeah. In fact, you know, if there were people attending this live now and they were members, then they would be eligible to receive a token for their contribution for going to learn something. Because when we learn something, we help towards the community. So rather than being charged to join a group where you can learn something, you should be rewarded for that. So anyone that goes to the event on Sunday, if they're a member, and after the event, then they'll be rewarded with tokens for going along to the event and learning about One Small Town and about what Stroud are doing.
Incredible. You don't live in Stroud, Michael. How did you get in? Oh, through Ray, I guess. Yeah, that you've.
That's right, Ray. One of Ray's many networks and contacts in Stroud, and I think it was just good timing for them as well. It's sort of fateful how it's worked out that Ray, reconnected with Michael again, and that Ray then was involved with the Stroud group, and it just kind of all fell into place, I would say.
I think divine
really.
flow, I would put it.
Yes, that's it.
Definitely right time, right place, divine flow, without shadow of a doubt. Yeah. And it's been extraordinary, actually, since I had that call with Michael Tellinger, just how easy the flow has been and how fast it's been and how exponential it's been. Just extraordinary. And, you know, being connected with Richard Vobes, and Richard's done a great piece. And yeah, there's so much more to come. I actually was asked to speak to someone else whose name I won't mention, who has a big platform. And I said, no. I think we're going to be maxed out with the people that we can get in Matara. We'll have that as an after sell and as to blast it around the country, not to get any more. So yeah, very exciting.
But it'd be a great starting point. I'm delighted that I've heard about it in time and that I can go now. So yes. I'm really looking forward to it.
Jackie, I can see somewhere in the New Forest being number 2 town. There might be a clamour to be number 2 town in the UK, but I can see that happening.
Well, there's so many around there. Yeah, we've got such a community that are ready to go on things. Yeah,
and they're such a delightful group of people. Yeah. When you do it, sorry. Go on,
I could say also you got the Bournemouth crew that are all, you know, there's a lot in Bournemouth and also a lot in Petersfield, which I know again you're very connected with. So
yeah, I was in Petersfield over the weekend, so yeah, they know all about it.
Right.
Ray's going to be keeping us busy for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll be driving it, don't you worry.
Well, I look forward to seeing you both on Sunday. Shall I put that up again? Just show that again, the poster.
Yeah, wow. Can you leave it up on your site?
Oh, I'll leave it. I've already posted it on the site, on my page, and also on Inspiration's page. So yes, it's on there, and anyone watching this back can see this poster anyway. I'll put it on my YouTube channel and my website.
Jackie, could you send us the link to what you're recording here?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll get it onto YouTube in just a minute and send to you.
Can I also say that it's going to be opened by an absolutely delightful lady that will do a short meditation, and meditations are usually instant channelings, and they're usually very prescient. Then we've got a section with Chloe with her naked voice, which will bring us all together. and then Michael will share what he needs to share and take questions. Then there'll be a break. Well, I think probably before we break, Michael will set up the sort of the afternoon, if you like, so we can go away with some thoughts on what we can be discussing over the lunch break, and then we'll come back and really get down to the nitty-gritty of action steps. And that's what I'm hearing in all of the groups, all the Stand in the Parks, all the freedom networks, all the different groups. Action, we want action, and this is the action place.
So solution based.
Yeah,
absolutely, yes, yeah.
So that's what we need, absolutely. Yes, something just went through my mind, I was going to say, and it's gone now.
Well, I think just to build on that, I think often people know that they want to do something. They know that there's a few things they can do, like growing food and giving it away and that kind of thing. But often it needs someone to come along and say, okay, these are the steps you follow. This is the process. These are what you need to think about first. Then this is what you do. Then this is what you do. And given that kind of a plan and not a plan exactly laid out for them, because only they know their town, but a formula that they can use to say, okay, well, that's what we do next, and once we've done that list or that part, then we can move on to the next step. Often it's just having that kind of structure around it that people realize then that actually, yeah, we know we can take lots of action, and this is how we do it. So that's kind of going to be the plan for the second part of the event.
And sorry, go on, Jackie.
Everyone's got a talent, haven't they? Even if it's sewing, that's, well, it's not even, I mean, it's a craft, but everyone can do something, can't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I like
they can
mention the babysitting or the child minding. I really, really, really like that. And the power washing, and the collecting the plastic. I know Michael's got a big thing about seeds, and I'm not going to take that one. I want you're going to share that one. I'm going to be giving away your thunder, but
yes, indeed, I'll be sharing that one, and also about
it's about growing. Yeah, there
is a way that you can grow a lot of food really quickly, and certain organizations can get involved really easily without much cost. So I'll be sharing that as well. And there's also higher technologies that we're looking to bring in as well. There's things like earth power lodges, and there's also I forget the name of it, but it's plastic recycling. I think Michael mentioned it with Richard Vobes, plastic recycling to produce oil, etc. So there's sort of national projects that we're working on alongside town projects and regional projects as well. So there's a lot going on. But I'll be able to provide a lot more details on Sunday.
Can I just quickly say, if one thinks of the roots of where I met Michael, at the Breakthrough Energy Conference, I absolutely know there's some extraordinary, interesting stuff going on in that world. That Michael didn't go there for no reason. Breakthrough 0 point energy, interesting. Won't say any more on that one at the moment.
Just say that actually in March, Ray came and started an event for us. We did a day in March in Romsey. He started the day, and the very first thing you did was the heart math meditation. Only short, but it was so grounding and so wonderful to start that day. So, I mean, Ray knows loads as well. And is very connected to so much and so many people. So yes, the whole thing is going to be amazing, I'm absolutely sure. So yeah, did you want to just share something else, Michael, or are we?
Well, just that if you can get along on Sunday, then we would love to see you there. But don't despair if you can't make Sunday, because this really is the first of what will probably be a lot of events, particularly throughout next year. We are planning on putting on regional events anyway. So if you miss out on this one, then first of all, don't let it stop you getting in touch, because I'm happy to come out and speak to any town that wants to get involved. But secondly, it's likely that we'll be holding an event in your area at some point next year. Now, we'd rather you do it before then, but you know, if it is something you have to wait for, then by all means, don't worry, we'll get around to everybody eventually.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Michael.
Jackie, thank
It's a
you
pleasure.
for the platform, and thank you for your beautiful group. And yes, look forward to having a great hug on Sunday.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you then. Lovely. Look forward to meeting you too on Sunday, Michael.
Go well.
Yes,
in the
we'll
meantime.
do. You too.